Today, in the chapter Globalization and the Indian Economy, I am going to discuss the topic Steps or Struggle for a Fair Globalization. Why we need a fair globalization? In the previous video, I had talked about the positive and negative impact of globalization. It means what? That the negative impact of globalizations are responsible for a fair globalization. It means that a fair globalization is required in our country so that the benefits of the globalization should percolate to the lowest section of the society, to the society which are deprived. Because of that, the struggle has been started for fair globalization. Then what is the reason behind which I am going to talk to you? Means the reason is not benefit to all. I had explained to you that globalization has benefited the will of consumers, means it has been not been percolated to the mass level. Naturally, to provide benefit to all. This is the first reason for fair globalization. Second is, not everyone shared the benefits. Means benefits have not come to all of the people. And third is, to make the best use of education, skill and wealth. Means whatever the education you have got, whatever the skill you have acquired, whatever the wealth you have collected, that should be have the best use. Means up to the optimum level to get the maximum satisfaction. So because of all these reasons, a step has been taken for the fair globalization in our country. Then what is the aim? Let us discuss the aim of this. Aim is to create opportunities to all. Means all should have access to the benefits of globalization. Second is to ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared better. In means what? Mass sharing of benefits of the globalization. Naturally, the aim is very noble because of that this should percolate to the smallest section of the society. Then what steps should we take to make fair globalization? Those steps are: first, government policies must protect the interests of all the people in the country. The government policies should be what? To protect the interest of all the people. And what are those? Proper implementation of labor laws, stress on the right of workers. Means the labor laws should be properly implemented in our country. Right of the workers should be given to them. Then only the earnings will come to the people and the benefits of the globalization will reach to them. Second is to improve the performance of small producers. Because due to globalization, small producers have been ruined. Means we have to encourage them so that they can also survive in this competitive world. Can use trade and investment barrier. Means we have to, some barriers should be imposed for the products which are coming from different countries. Can negotiate at WTO for fairer rules. WTO is what? World Trade Organization. Many countries have combined together and they trade with each other. So we will try to maintain a barrier so that not only the rich people should get the benefit of the globalization, but even a small producer should also get benefit from it. Can align with other developing countries to fight against the domination of developed countries in the WTO. What happens that World Trade Organization consists of both developing and developed countries. And developed countries, what they do? They try to dominate the developing countries. So what we should do, that all developing countries should come together and we should stop them to use the monopoly. So as a result, what happens, that when the developing countries will be united, then developed country can negotiate in proper way and the trade will be in the fairer way. And next is the massive campaigns and representation by the people's organization. So many people's organizations are there, and because of that many campaigns have been done, and because of this that globalization is becoming fairer and fairer. So these are the regions which I have talked here, that we are going for fair globalization. Now to have the fair globalization and to attract many people who will invest in our country, so many steps have been taken by our government to attract foreign investment. So two most important steps have been taken by our government. One is the creation of a special economic zone, and second is flexibility in labor laws. It is to attract those companies which are in different countries. For them it is. So what is a special economic zone? First you have to understand. So let us discuss the meaning of a special economic zone. Industrial zones are called special economic zones, where the industries will be established, the area where the industries are established, the zone where the industries are established, that zone, that area is called a special economic zones. Then what are the features of the special economic zone? What characters it has? They have world-class facilities. Means in that area, many facilities are provided to the investors. What are those facilities? Which are basic facilities like electricity, water, roads, transport, storage, recreational and educational facilities. Suppose in any area when the industry is established, many laborers will come, engineers will come, so many people will come and they will work there. Naturally they will stay in that area. So we need all these facilities so that they can work in proper way in that industry. So electricity is given to them, water is given to them, roads are being provided to them, storage facilities are also there, recreational facilities and educational facilities for their children, because they will stay with the family. So all these facilities are provided in the special economic zone. Companies who set up production units in special economic zones do not have to pay taxes for an initial period of 5 years. This is called tax holiday. Tax holiday is what? That for certain period or for certain years you don't have to pay tax on the profit which you will earn. Why it is being done? So that they can open industries in our country. So this facility is being provided by our government. The second facility or second factor which is attracting the foreign investment in India is the flexibility in labor laws. This I have discussed also in the previous video also. Government has allowed companies to ignore many of rules and regulations. Government is saying that you don't have to follow many rules and regulations. Instead of hiring workers on regular basis, means instead of giving the regular employment, companies hire workers flexibly for short period. Means the employment of those laborers will be for a certain period only, not for the whole year, not for the, you can say in certain years, rather only for short periods. When there is intense pressure of work, means they will employ when the pressure of work is more. How the pressure of work is more? For example, when the World Cup football is going on, then we need a lot of footballs because a consensus is being created that everyone will buy the football and start playing. So at that time the demand of footballs increase, and at that time they will employ workers for shorter period and they will produce football, and after that they will get unemployed. This is called the flexibility in the labor laws. This is done to reduce the cost of labor for the company. What it happens, since there is no regular employment, naturally the cost of the labor for the company reduces and the products is available in the market at the low cost. So these are the two steps have been taken by our government to attract the foreign investment, that is a special economic zone and flexibility in the labor laws. In the next video, I will talk of another topic